Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be another nail video, but today is a Halloween nail video. I know I've been really looking forward to posting. There are a couple Halloween nail videos because I did try out quite a lot of sets. I had a few recommendations in my comments of things you'd like to try, so I added extra sets to sort of, do those sets. And that just resulted in an extra video. But anyway, this is the first Halloween video of a couple that are coming up. I think they turned out really cute and I hope that you like them. For my first set, I'm going to use base coat, cure for 30 seconds, and then go in with my base colour, which is like a pinkyish, quite transparent colour. It's very pretty. One thin layer of that on each nail and cure for 30 seconds. If you want the colour to be more opaque, you can absolutely do 2 coats, but I didn't. Curing for 30 seconds, we're going to start the design, and the theme for these nails is devil. I know, fun. Very Halloweeny, if I do say so myself. So on my middle finger, I'm going to go in and try and do some devil horns. I pretty much started by taking a thin nail art brush and trying to make a shape that's a little bit like a half circle, and then sort of just neatening it up and flicking it up at the ends. After curing for 30 seconds, I moved on to my ring finger, and the design on this one is going to be the tail. Pretty much it was just a swirly line and then a bit of a triangle on the end. That's it. I don't really know how else to explain it. You can see what I'm doing and you can see just how easy it is. Again, curing for 30 seconds and then starting to design on my pointer finger. And this one is going to be a bit like a flame, like a fire. I don't really know how to explain it. You'll see what I'm about to do. I actually made the fire a little bit big, but I started by drawing a line up my nail of how long I wanted the fire, like the main bit of the fire, to be, before sort of doing a bit like a unicorn horseshoe type shape. Forget unicorn, I was looking for the word horse. A bit of a horseshoe shape on the end of that line, which was going to be the flames. I have the basic shape, I just filled it in and cured again for 30 seconds. A really simple part of design. For my pinky and thumbnails, I decided to just do a red French tip just to sort of round it off the edges. And for French tips, I just always draw one line of how long I want the French tip to be before drawing another line straight across the nail, and then 2 lines of how far I want the French tip to go down to. And I connect all of these lines and then take a thin, normally long nail art brush and sort of curve the lines round to make the French tip shape. When the basic shape is outlined, I then just fill in the tip with nail polish and cure for 30 seconds. Going in with top coat, which I cure for 30 seconds, and rubbing alcohol to remove that sticky coat before using cuticle oils just to protect my cuticles because they've just been through it every time we do our nails. Just going to start by removing all of this polish. This next set is going to be a little creepier looking because they are going to be it inspired nails, and I am starting by removing all the old polish. After filing off all of that old polish, I did just quickly go in and shape them a little bit just because I felt like the nails were getting slightly chunky. I had just been infilling them instead of taking them off every single time and doing a new set to try and protect my nails by using less acetone. So I just felt like I needed a little bit shaping before going in with a design. And now starting my design, I'm going to first go in with base coat, which I'm using the Beatles one here. I'm going to apply one thin layer to each nail before curing for 30 seconds in my big UV lamp. Now I'm going to go in with my base colour on all of my nails except my middle finger. And the colour is a bit of a dark, creamy, pinky-ish colour. I applied it first my thumbnail and cured because it is way easier to cure your thumb on its own rather than just trying to like twist it into an unnatural position as you cure in the rest of your hand. And I did cure for 30 seconds under the big UV lamp. I then cured the polish and went in with my second coat. That was it for my thumbnail and pinky finger. I didn't decide to do a design on them, so I just top coated them and cured before I moved on to the real design part on my other nails. My pointer finger is going to be a bloody design nail, so first going in with my dotting tool and dipping it in some red nail polish. I'm going to just outline 4 dots of where I want the 4 blood drops to be. When I had the drops outlined, I just took a brush and started to extend them up to where my cuticle is to create the illusion of it dripping down. I then just made a thin red line around where my cuticle is, just to make it look like that is where the blood is dropping from rather than dropping from thin air. I cured this for 30 seconds before going in with a slightly darker red to create some depth within the blood drops. When I'm done curing that for 30 seconds before moving on to my ring finger design, which is going to be the infamous red balloon. I first outlined how big I wanted the balloon to be before going in and slightly fixing the shape to make it more balloon-like rather than more oval. I then used the large dot I'd created in the middle of the balloon initially to fill in the colour of the balloon. I then, with a very thin nail art brush, thinly outlined the shape of the balloon and went in, you know the little bit at the bottom where you tie it? I made that and also the string. These added details honestly took it from just looking like a big red circle to actually looking like a balloon. Curing that for 30 seconds before starting my final design, and this is going to be it itself. Honestly, this is going to be the clown. So of course I'm first going in with white as my background. I did 1 coat, cured that, and then went in with a second coat to make sure that the white was really opaque. I started with the eye, and honestly I made this a little bit too small, so I actually went in and redid it off camera because I forgot to film and just made it like a little bit bigger. But yeah, it's just a basic eye shape. I don't really know how to describe it, but just 2 sort of angled lines coming in to meet in the middle. I also did the eyebrow off camera when I did the eye because I completely forgot that I wasn't even filming. I'm so sorry about that, but as you can see, it's literally just a curved line. It was the easiest part of this entire nail, honestly. I then dragged the black in the middle of the eye down a little bit in sort of an oval shape and outlined that in yellow to create the eyeball. I also took my dotting tool and dotted white within the black, and that just made it look so much creepier and so much better. I'm sorry if this is a bit out of focus. I'd never done a design like this before, so I was focusing more on that than the filming. But basically I just took a nail art brush, dipped it in red and made that stripe up his face, going through to his eyebrow right down to the bottom of the nail where the lips will be. On one part of the lips, I dragged the red down very slightly to make kind of a tooth shape, and then went in above the lip on the very side of the nail just to create the nose. And that's it, the nails are done. So I'm going to go in and apply top coat over all the designs because I already cured the other 2 nails, and cure for 60 seconds, and that's it. I'm really happy with how these turned out, honestly. For a first attempt at it nails, I think that they look really good. Ultimately, you can very clearly tell who the nails are supposed to be, and that was all I really cared about. I wanted them to be very easily identifiable as it nails, and I think they are, so mission accomplished. On to design number 3, and this is going to be the final design in this video, and they're going to be really cute pinky little ghost nails. Again, first of course filing off all that old polish, just starting out with base coat on all of my nails, and I am using the Beatles one here and curing that for 30 seconds in my big UV lamp. Now going in with my base colour, which is a really beautiful transparent sort of pinky colour. Just going to go in with one layer of this on all of my nails and cure for 30 seconds. But again, if you want it darker and more opaque, you can absolutely use 2 coats. Now I'm going to go in with a French tip on my thumbnail. The way I'm going to do this French tip is exactly the same as I did in the first set. So drawing one line of how long I want the French tip to be, another straight across, and 2 more lines of how far I want it to go down, connecting these lines and just making them a little bit neater into that French tip curved shape. Then filling it in and curing for 30 seconds. That's that nail done, so going in with top coat and curing for 60 seconds. Then going in with rubbing alcohol just on this nail to get rid of that sticky coat, and going into my pinky nail, which is also going to be a French tip, so it's the exact same thing that I've just showed you. Again, starting with a French tip on my pointer finger. I'm not going to talk you through it because by now you know the drill. If I do ever mess up at all, which can happen, obviously, I'm only human, I have a small pot of acetone next to me and I'll just take a brush, dip it in and just remove the mark. Pretty much remove the mistake, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm using acetone to just neaten up the French tip a little bit because I did go slightly to the side more than I should have. Curing that for 30 seconds and then with a light pink, just outlining the French tip. In that same pink shape, we're now going to create some blood drops. So again, taking my dotting tool and just outlining where I want the blood drops to be. Then as before with a thin line brush, just extending it up towards that pink outline of the French tip. Just going to repeat this for all of the blood drops. Curing that and then going on to my middle finger, which I'm going to write boo. So I don't know how to explain what I'm doing here other than saying that you can watch, and I'm just sort of outlining the letters. I then went over them just to sort of really neaten them up and make sure that they were perfect, and then cure for 30 seconds before moving on to the next nail. This last nail is going to have the ghost on it, so I started by outlining the basic shape with a thin nail art brush. I then just filled in my ghost before curing for 60 seconds, and I did 60 here because this white that I'm using is by Beatles and it's quite thick and gloopy, so it can take a little bit longer to cure completely. For the final details, I took a very thin nail art brush and in black just outlined the ghost before going in with the eyes and mouth. For the face, I did just take a dotting tool and just dotted where I wanted the eyes to be and then the mouth. Not sure why the mouth didn't record, but basically I just sort of dragged my dotting tool to the side to make an oval shape. I then just with my finished nail art brush just sort of dragged out the eye shape very slightly 3 times to create the eyelashes. And finally, to finish it off and go with the pink theme, I just created a couple little hearts above the ghost. I did this by going in again with my dotting tool in pink and just creating 2 dots where I wanted the top of the heart to be, and then dragging them down into the middle to connect. When all of the nails were finished, I went in with top coat and cure for 60 seconds before using rubbing alcohol to remove the sticky coat and going in with cuticle oil on all of my cuticles. And this is the finished set. What do we think? Because this has got to be my favourite set out of this video. I absolutely love them. They're just so cute and girly but so Halloweeny at the same time. Yeah, I'm absolutely in love with this set. I think that I did a really good job, to be honest. They're all quite neat and polished and uniform, and they're just perfect for this season. So that's it from me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like and a comment, and I will see you very soon in the next one. I love you guys so much. Bye.